Welcome if this is your first time. Thanks for joining. It's pretty straightforward. If you have questions, you can ask me and I will do my best to answer them. So there are two ways you can do that. You can submit questions in the Q&A button below. And I will answer them in the order they come in. Michael, my team sent me on a question from you that you already submitted through email. So I'll do that one first so you don't have to resubmit it. And yeah, and also if there's something that's more like we better served by a conversation, you can let me know in the chat and I can unmute your mic and we can just talk about something. Okay, so his first question is from Michael. I'm selling my training videos to service managers of car dealerships. These videos will not only be used by the service manager, but also by other members of the service department. Their respective titles are dispatchers and drivers. In a single service department, there might be 5 dispatchers and 3 drivers. This is starting to feel like an SAT course question. All in all, that totals 9 people who will be accessing my videos. However, only the service manager will be paying for the videos. To say it in a different way, the service manager will be buying my content while the others will be getting the content for free. I'm confused how to set up the membership levels. My first thought is to create 3 membership levels: manager, dispatcher, et cetera, et cetera. Is my question clear? Will my approach work? What approach would you recommend? Your question is definitely clear. However, there is a better answer than what you're proposing. There is an extension to MemberMouse called MemberMouse Groups plugin, which essentially is designed for the exact scenario you're talking about, where there's groups. Basically there's a leader of the group who has one type of access, and then there are seats within a group so that those other users have different types of access. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. Go to... I think you can also find this by just searching the WordPress plugin repository. So this plugin isn't maintained by us, so just keep that in mind. But it's something that has been around for a long time. We had a hand. Our team had a hand in developing part of the first version, but now it's maintained by someone else. So this plugin is what you're looking for. I think it'll do exactly what you need to do. So take a look at that, get it installed, and you should be all set. All right. And I'll just paste this link in the chat. Okay. Next question from Christina. I have a subscription service and I will need to know when people choose to leave or unsubscribe. Right now, when people unsubscribe, I do not get any kind of notification. How can I change this so I know who is leaving the service? Okay. So you are going to do this using push notifications. So let us say that, now you can do this when you say service, people leaving my service. I have to get more specific to tell you actually how to do this. So there's 2 options in MemberMouse that you could be talking about. You could be talking about a membership level, or you could be talking about a bundle. So the solution is essentially the same for both. So let's just say, for the sake of this example, that you're talking about people being on your basic membership level. So you're saying what you want to have happen is when somebody cancels this membership, you want to be notified. Okay, so what you do is go to Developer Tools, And on the push notifications tab, click create push notification. So in essence, what push notifications are it's a event action system so that you can select from any number of different events that will then trigger an action to happen, which could be sending an email, calling a script, or integrating with Zapier. So for your situation, the event that we want to listen to is membership status change. So if you're doing this for bundles, you would just listen to the bundle status change event. So membership status change, and then you can specify that this is going to be for all membership levels or a specific one. So I'm going to say just do it for basic membership, and when status becomes canceled. Now notice there's a difference between pending cancellation and canceled. So the difference is if somebody's on a subscription, right, and they paid $30 for a month and they cancel in the middle of the month, their account goes into pending cancellation status because they've already paid for the remaining 15 days of that month. At the end of that month, their account will go into canceled status. So this is something to keep in mind when you want to be notified. Do you want to be notified exactly when they cancel their account? Or do you want to be notified when the account goes into canceled status? So there is some nuance here too. It really is going to depend on if you have a subscription or a one-time paid product. Really, cancellation, you're probably dealing with a subscription because people don't cancel stuff that they just paid for once. But it's just something to understand and how this works. Because if something's a one-time, if somebody's canceling a membership that they only paid one time for, like in terms of the product and how it's configured, it will immediately go to cancellation status because there's no definition in terms of how long that payment applies for, okay? So for your situation, assuming you have a subscription, I'm assuming that you're gonna select pending cancellation because you wanna be notified immediately when somebody cancels. So then you just select that and then you say send an email, and you want to send an email to yourself. So you'll select the appropriate email from this drop down, and then it'll be from whatever email you want it to be from, and then you just will say you can use this member added template, and you can just change this to be cancellation, member cancellation. And then in that email, you can use these same smart tags to insert information about the members. So I'm just going to remove everything, but just say this member just canceled. And then it says the name and the email address. And that's pretty much all I need. So I'll delete everything else and save that. And just a side thing, if you want to add new email addresses to that dropdown, that whatever's in that dropdown is defined by what employees are set up in your system. So you can create a new employee with a particular role, and then put in whatever email address you want here, so that you can send it to that email address or from that email address. But now that I've done that, right? So you can easily test this by going to manage members, and we'll just find somebody on that account. So this account is on the basic membership. So if we go to access rights and cancel it, oh, well, okay, so this is yeah, okay, so now this account is in, what is the definition of the product associated with the membership level? Hold on. Basic membership is on the basic plan, which is a subscription. I'm just going to create a new account because this data in here is really old. I don't know. This was created in April. So I'm just going to create a new account just to make sure we're dealing with the right thing here. Basic membership. So I'm going to sign up for this basic membership. Sign up. Okay, so now that new account has been created. Oh, well, I should have just canceled. So the sign up for this account, and okay, sorry. There's more nuance to this, right? Because I'm in a trial period at this point. If I cancel during a trial, I haven't paid for anything. So my account's immediately go into cancellation status. So it's not going to trigger the event that I set up. So if you have a trial, then you probably also want to set up a push notification, basically the same exact push notification, but also for canceled status, so that, you know, whether somebody goes into pending cancellation or canceled status, you'll know in the soonest way possible. So member status changed, basic membership level, goes into canceled status, send email to whatever email address and from whatever email address. Use the same body of the email. And member cancellation. Okay, save that. Okay, so now going back to placing an order. Sign up. Okay, so go to my account page. Cancel. Yes, no, cancel. Okay, so my account has been canceled. So now when I go to manage member screen and I see activity log, you'll notice that, and you can filter it by email if you want, because what we're looking for is anytime MemberMouse sends an email through the push notification system, it will create a log of that in the activity log. So we can see here that that email was in fact sent when the person canceled their account. So that's how you do it. This is from Greg McCoy. What is the best email service provider and CRM solution provider to use with MemberMouse? CRM solution, not sure what you are referring to when you say that. Why would you need a CRM solution is the first question. So that one I'm going to skip because that's not a common thing that you would actually necessarily need. A lot of times people just use the email service provider as their CRM in conjunction with MemberMouse. You don't need anything additional unless you need specific functionality like a traditional customer relationship management system where you're setting up calls and when you want to call these people and keeping notes in terms of your interaction with them, et cetera, et cetera. I know nothing about those types of systems, so I'm going to defer on that side of your question. But as far as the best email service provider, that's a, you're essentially asking, there's two questions. A, what is just the best email service provider on its own? And then the second part of that question is the best email service provider to use with MemberMouse. The second part of the question is easy. Basically, the best one to use with MemberMouse is any one of the ones that we integrate with. I mean, because we have native integrations for MailChimp, iContact, Aweber, GetResponse, ActiveCampaign, and there's Drip also has an integration. It's not part of our thing, but basically any of those you can integrate with because they're easy to set up through the integration. Now, which ones do I hear people mostly using? ActiveCampaign, Drip, MailChimp, and Aweber. Okay, and then even and in that order, essentially. So there's ActiveCampaign, Drip at the top, MailChimp, and then, you know, here and there GetResponse and Aweber. I really don't hear anything about iContact. So, you know, I don't know what their situation is. And in terms of what's the best email service provider, it's like asking what's the best of anything. I have direct experience with MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, and Drip. Personally, I like ActiveCampaign and Drip the best, but it all comes down to personal preference. It all comes down to what your use cases are. So really, the answer to that question is beyond the scope of what I can say, except for my personal experience, because I'm definitely not using these tools every day. And I don't know what your specific needs are for those systems, because with every choice, just even with choosing membership plugins, there's going to be some things that MemberMouse does better than other people, and some people do things better than us. And so it comes down to what's more important to you. What are the features that you're specifically looking for, and that's how you make the decision. So, sorry to not give a really direct answer, but to give a really direct answer, I think would be dishonest, because there is a lot of variables in determining what's best, and it depends a lot on your situation. Okay. This question is from David. Let me just check something real quick. Okay. This question is from David. Looking to migrate to you guys and have a few questions. Do you want me to, you're asking if I can unmute you. I can. Do you want me to read this, or are you going to explain this to me if I unmute you? Just unmute yourself when you're ready.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much for unmuting me.
Sure.
I'm really key on transferring to you guys. I have a developer who really loves your plugin. It has a great API, he says, and I'm currently using Memberium with Infusionsoft as my CRM. I have LearnDash because we have classes for professionals that require quizzes and tests.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have Samcarp. So it's obviously like a kind of complicated stack. One of the big issue that we're having is what we want to do is, from the thank you pages of the purchase, we want to make sure that we can take them directly to the login. Right now, Samcart calls Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft does an HTTP post back to Memberium, and then Infusionsoft sends an email, and I'm getting 30% of my trouble tickets are, hey, I didn't get the login email. So that's a huge problem that we're trying to fix. And I understand from what I've read also that you guys, you send mails I can set up SMTP right on my WordPress site, and I can actually trigger those events immediately upon purchase. So I want to do that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And that's a huge win for me. I just saw that everything's built in LearnDash. So I've been looking at your documentation. It looks like that would be bundles, because certain customers have more than one class.
Mm-hmm.
We do also have a membership, which we just started. It's currently set up also as a LearnDash class. There's 500 on a recurring membership. So I'm trying to come up with sort of a phased approach where I can push things to you guys more and more. That would be.
Do you want to keep both systems running for a period of time and together?
No, not even. I'd like to just set up a subdomain and get this thing translated and built, and then have a data migration, sort of pull the trigger. We have 8,500 customers that are actively doing things. So, I want to build
active subscriptions.
500 active subscriptions, which are being Stripe and PayPal through Samcart. I don't know if you can.
Then that's not going to make a difference, because everything's being controlled by Samcart in terms of billing.
Is there a way to move those over to you guys, or I have to actually manually email them and say re-sign up here?
You wouldn't need to, because currently this is just a downside in general. I don't know how Memberium and Infusionsoft handle this when integrating with Samcart, but the thing is, like, Samcart is essentially taking one of the things that MemberMouse does onto its plate, right? It's like MemberMouse has a checkout form built into it, but so if somebody places an order through the checkout form on MemberMouse, the account gets created, and we have all the payment information and all that, and connect to the payment processor directly. So we then can do things like issue refunds because the payment transaction happened through our system. We can when you cancel something in our system, like if a customer cancels access, it will automatically communicate with the billing system to tell it to cancel. But here's the downside of using Samcart. You're now saying Samcart is going to handle all that stuff. Samcart is handling payment, accepting a payment, and managing subscriptions. And therefore, MemberMouse at that point only becomes a content delivery mechanism.
Got it.
Right? So Samcart's going to inform MemberMouse, hey, somebody just purchased this product, create this account for us, which MemberMouse will totally do. It'll send out the email. The customer experience will be such that they'll be able to log in immediately, access everything, et cetera, which is great. That sounds like what you're having the issue with. But you just know that from a user experience standpoint and from a customer support standpoint, you're going to lose some of the features in MemberMouse that allow for self-account management, like going to the My Account page and be able to cancel their own billing or update their billing details or stuff like that, like the automated overdue recurring handling.
Okay.
Samcart will be handling all that.
But if Samcart has tags that you can call or send to, you could send webhooks. The other big problem that I'm having right now is, if somebody doesn't pay, some of the single courses are set up as payment plans, so they pay 3 or 4 out of the 5. But if they miss the 5th payment, unless I do it manually, basically, they still have access. So I would love to get everything.
Well, MemberMouse would handle that all for you if you used the native checkout forms. Now, this is a consideration though, right? Because the whole reason you're using Samcart focuses 100% of their energy on checkout. So naturally, they're going to be supremely better in certain circumstances than we are with our checkout form, because that's only part of what we do. It's not our focus. The primary thing that we do is membership, right? So there's all these trade-offs that come when you're wiring different systems together, which is part of the challenge that you have with a business of your size. You have to start doing this. There's always the trade-offs become, like if you were just starting, I would be like, this isn't worth worrying about because it's just going to cost you more in terms of time and effort than it's going to get you. But at the point you're at now, you're going to need, it makes sense that you have 2 systems that specialize in these different areas doing the things, which means that in order to accomplish the synchronization that naturally happens when MemberMouse is the sole system, you're just going to have a developer do some things, because you'll be able to do it, right? Like for example, I was just demonstrating the push notification system a little earlier in this video. The push notification system can also be used to call custom scripts. And this is something that more advanced setups use a lot, because what you can do is if somebody cancels through the My Account page, you can then trigger it to call a custom script, and that script can then call the API of Samcart and do whatever needs to be done.
Okay,
right?
That makes good sense. Yeah, the guy who I work with, he said your API is top notch. Like there's nothing you can't do.
Okay.
What about upsells? Do you guys do upsell flows?
Yeah. So there are upsell flows. So you can think of it like your situation. You can kind of think of it like our off-site payment situations. Like when somebody buys using PayPal or ClickBank or something else through our site, all the payment is handled on a third party, and then after the payment is complete, it's sent to us. At that point, you can have the thank you page actually is product specific in MemberMouse. You can specifically say this thank you page is only for when this product is purchased, and that's how you do the upsell chains. Because if you know, okay, they just purchased my basic plan, then what you can do on the thank you page for that basic plan is say, hey, get 15% off of our premium plan if you buy right now, right?
Like a
So you can
one-click
do
sale.
all those. Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the thing though. In MemberMouse, if everything's handled in MemberMouse, it supports one-click purchasing, right? Because as soon as we have a card on file, we can then just rebuild that card. But in your case, since Samcart's doing everything, clicking them accepting the offer is going to send them back to the Samcart checkout, which is definitely going to influence conversion rates, but because it's not like, but if the offer is good enough, people will still go through it.
No, I hear you. I think like a phase two would be to get native, fully native with you guys. And I'm trying to simplify my stack a little bit. So, if we meant making the upsell flows and the use your native checkout forms. I mean, the other thing that is a huge desire for me is like somebody goes and gets an opt-in for a free gift, like a free PDF, like a free checklist, like top of my
Yeah.
funnel. I want them to get a free membership. I want them to go into the
Yeah,
membership
exactly. Yeah.
to get this thing, and then I want them to see everything else that they can buy.
Right, and that's going to be a real. I don't know how Memberium handles all this stuff,
It's a
but
pain. It's a pain in the ass, and it
yeah.
really everything has to go through Infusionsoft, which is
Well, I was going to say I don't know how they handle once somebody's a member, but with MemberMouse, we have all these member decision smart tags. So let me just show you this on our demo site, so you can get a visual here. But that's one of that's definitely the thing. That's the most intelligent thing to do is like, just because you're giving somebody free content doesn't mean that they shouldn't be a member, because once somebody's a member, then, so for example, here's a free plan, right? So I'm signing up for this free plan. So once you're a member, you know things about that person, so you can advertise stuff to them contextually based on what they have. So this is all done using smart tags and MemberMouse. So this box up here is saying, we notice you haven't purchased, et cetera, yet. Click here to learn more, and then you can buy it. And then now that I have it, I don't see that thing anymore. And I see that I have access to it. But the things I don't have access to, I see that I can add those.
perfect.
But the thing is that you definitely want to be able to speak to people where they're at. And remember, the decision smart tags and MemberMouse allow you to have that conversation.
That's fantastic. No, and then once we get them in this way, going forward, and they buy within MemberMouse, then they can buy anything else. I saw that you have like members only discounts, so we can have different pricing for members only, and then they can buy it with one click. Is that correct?
Yes, and that's great, because once you kind of made the initial sale, however they're getting into your system, or it's a free account, everything following that, it doesn't like. So talking about the benefits of Samcart, right? Like, I imagine that they have a lot of features designed into their forms that are specifically targeted around first-time sale, because that's a very specific type of scenario. This is the first time somebody's buying from you. You want to make it as easy as possible, et cetera, et cetera. But if somebody's already gotten to build a relationship with you, they just need to fill out their details. It's not going to be as sticky of a situation for them. So, using Samcart, or if it's even like the advertising you're doing is all pointing to a free sign up form, then it's not even an issue at that point. Because when you want them to buy, sorry, there's like people blowing leaves right outside of my window. When it's time for them to buy, they'll already have a relationship with you. So using the built-in MemberMouse checkout form is going to be the best thing to do, because now you have card on file, and any upsells after that point, once they've made that first purchase, can all be done with a single click.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And you can do the membership has its privileges discount pricing since you're a member.
Yeah, exactly.
All
Yeah,
right.
and that's also really easy to set up. In MemberMouse. Let me just log into the admin area. You can check all this stuff out on the demo site, by the way. This is the demo site. So if you don't have like a free trial with us yet, you can log in and see all this stuff, demo.membermounts.com. So product settings. So the way that our stuff is set up, like these two things have to do with granting access to content, right? So in your case, in a business where you have multiple things for sale, people can buy it a la carte, you're going to be using bundles, you know. It's always a good rule of thumb just to think that, okay, I only need a free membership level and everything is done through bundles because it's just the most flexible way. Membership levels really come into play in scenarios where you have plans that people can upgrade between, like bronze, silver, gold type of situation. But anyway, with products, you can have multiple. So you can see here, I can get this special offer bundle for $19, but I can easily add another way that people can pay for this. You know, I can say this is discounted, and they get access to the same thing, but it's a different price. So I'm going to say this is $10. So now, just after that, now people can either buy this or this, and they get access to the same thing, which makes it really easy to do different offers without having to change how your content protection is set up.
That's really cool. And then if it was a free PDF, top of the funnel, would that be a free bundle?
It would be a free membership level.
Okay. And
Yeah,
then
that would be the best way to do it because, yeah.
If they wanted to add a product, you could add certain different bundles to your free membership levels.
Exactly. So we wouldn't add them to your free, you mean people can buy them?
Well, they might download another free thing and then buy something.
Right. So let's just look at, so you say, so you have let's just create another paid bundle. So special offer 2, right? And I'll create a product, special offer 2. And when you buy that, you get the, price is $5. And when you, so special offer 2 is a paid bundle. What? Oh. Okay, so special offer 2, when I buy it, when I buy the special offer 2 product, I want to get the special offer 2 bundle. So I'll save that. So that's now set up. Sorry for I did it in a weird order, so
No worries.
a little confusing. But basically you create a product and you create a bundle and the product gets associated with the bundle. It's a little bit nuanced, but the whole reason for that is because you get the benefit of creating multiple products for the same bundle. That's why it's 2 steps. So from a design perspective. But anyway, so now we have 2 bundles in the system. So you click here, you get your purchase links. What is going on here? Oh, I just got logged out for some reason. Oh, okay. This is the demo site. So we have a thing that automatically runs every 2 hours. It clears out the database. So that just happened.
No, I hear
So
you.
anyway.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It totally answers my question. It's super flexible. Super flexible.
So
And the portal page, like when they first log in, you can completely customize that. Can you
it's just a WordPress. It's just a WordPress page, so you can do anything you want on that. There are no restrictions, but you can use the smart tags to help you make it dynamic according what's in the membership database.
Okay, that's fantastic. And then just in terms of logistics, if I clone my current site to make a test, I can basically just turn off Membarium and install you guys. And as near as you can tell, right now the LearnDash access is based on Infusionsoft tags. So would that work the same way for the moment?
I have no idea. I know MemberMouse and LearnDash, a lot of people use it together, so I know that they can be used together. But in terms of if there's a similarity between how Infusionsoft integrates with it, I don't know. But yeah,
Okay.
Cindy just included a support article specifically about LearnDash, which may or may not answer your low-level questions because that's a very minute detail.
No, no, totally. Do you guys
But
have any?
yeah,
I was going to say if you have any resources for migration, like
yeah,
database migration.
yep. So Cindy will paste that in there. And yeah, so I would say, uh, get a free trial with us and set it up on a staging site and move everything over. Now, if Memberium also uses the WordPress user system to create their users, the migration will be as straightforward as it can be.
They do.
If
Yeah, they do. It's all WP.
Okay. So therefore, all the usernames and passwords won't, everybody will have the same login information. So it'll make communication once you flip the switch very straightforward because you probably won't even need to say anything because everybody will have the same access credentials because we use the WP user system as well. And when you run the import script, it'll automatically link up to the existing WordPress users.
Oh, that's fantastic. And you
But what
use
you're going to
WP
want to go ahead.
No, I was going to say, do you use wp-login.php or you have your own login?
We have
screen?
our own login, but behind the scenes, it uses the WP login system.
Okay. Okay, great.
There's only a login page so you can style it if you want to, have the opportunity to. But you don't have to use our login page.
This sounds like a total win. And then I can slowly start getting off. I can't see why I would keep SamCard unless their one-click upsell flow is quite good.
Yeah.
But
Well, you'll see if as you go through the process, because it is going to be a process. But so what I would say is take the first steps, and then you reach out to us if you get more specific questions at a future point, and we can go over those again.
This is
or even come on here next week or 2 weeks whenever you get to a point where you have more questions and we can go over it.
That's cool.
But yeah,
This is awesome. So no, I was saying this is awesome so far. I've got a launch next week.
Yep.
So I can't like dive in till November.
Yeah, it's not advisable to do this right before launch.
No, I hear you. So, but listen, I really appreciate this. This is so far I'm super impressed, and especially being able to solve that problem, to give them thank you page, click here to log in, and take them right to the site because that's been a huge problem where they're looking.
Yeah, and and not to put anybody down because everybody has different things that they do well, but that's like a basic. That's surprising that that's not possible to me.
Well, they said it can only be done if I'm using Infusionsoft's checkout pages.
Okay.
And I'm at a point now where we're also talking about just getting rid of Infusionsoft because we don't need it to do. We don't need it. We don't need half the things it does. So
And it's expensive.
And it's expensive. Yeah. So ActiveCampaign to send emails, and you said is it Drip? Is the other one that you are familiar with?
We actually use Drip ourselves at MemberMouse. We use MemberMouse on membermouse.com to run our business, and so we use Drip for our email provider.
Oh, fantastic. All right, well, listen, I took up plenty of your time, and I really appreciate it. I'm going to download these links from Cynthia, and thank you again. You'll be hearing from me.
All right. Thanks, David.
Bye-bye.
Okay, cool. Let me just see here if there are any other questions. Michael, is that you're asking about the groups plugin? I don't see a demo or tutorial on this plugin. Yeah, so do we have detailed documentation? So like I said, this plugin is not something that we maintain. So support for it, training for it, et cetera, not something that we have available. Let me just do a quick Google search and see if I can find any documentation on it. I mean, there's a significant amount of documentation on the plugin page itself where you download the plugin. You know, I'm not sure why I'm on the French site. I would send you this link, except for some reason, and for Google, it took me to the French version, which groups for member NAS. Okay, here we go. So, did you see this page? I just typed it, pasted it in the chat. Okay, while I'm waiting for you to get back on that, Starkey is asking, can you tell me why my members would be getting the following error, probably not, when trying to update their billing details? Error updating subscription billing details, invalid payment token. Yeah, I can't. Can I tell you? Unfortunately, I can't, because there's many other pieces of information I would need to know from you specific to your environment as to whether, why you would be receiving that error. The circumstances under which it happens, so it's going to need to be something that you send to our support team, and then they escalate it up if they don't have an immediate answer for you. But yeah, send an email in, and ideally, if you can, a screencast video that demonstrates to them exactly how you get the error to show up. Because if you can demonstrate how you can replicate that error situation, it means that they can attempt to do the same thing in their development environments and see if they experience the same thing. If they experience the same thing and are able to replicate it, that makes it very easy for our development team to receive that information and know exactly where the problem is. If it's not something you can replicate, or if it's something that happens intermittently and is circumstantial, that's a lot harder to track down, because it means that there are other factors involved. Likely it could be a conflict from another plugin. It could be all manner of things. There are many different variables involved. But the starting point is to give us as much information you have, support@membermouse.com. Screencast videos are always helpful if you are able to replicate the issue and show us exactly how you're doing it. And then we'll go from there. So Michael, I haven't heard back from you yet in the chat. So I put a link in the chat. But anyway, that's the link, that's the place to start. That's really the only thing that I know of that exists for this. And as I said, it's not our plugin, so we don't do support for it or provide documentation for it ourselves. So start with what's on that page. There's a significant amount of details on the details tab. And if you have questions, then there is you should be able to contact the developer or contributors and then go from there. Oh, I'm sorry. All panels and attendees. That's the link. Okay, so start with that link, and then that should give you the details you need, and then you can reach out to their team if you need anything from them on it. Cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining, and I hope you have a nice weekend, and we will chat next time. Okay, bye.